It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ogechi. I'm a financial educator, real estate investor, mentor, and founder of One Savvy Dollar. I help renters who want to be homeowners, renters who want to be real estate investors, and homeowners who want to be real estate investors. My tips and money features, my tips, my real estate tips and my money tips have been featured on CNBC, The Street, Credit Karma, Business Insider, and so many other places. Thank you so much, Sam, for inviting me. I am super. This is not my first time here. I've had a podcast episode with you in the past, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I got feedback that your audience thoroughly enjoyed my episode. So thank you for inviting me back. Today we're going to talk about how to invest in real estate while paying off debt. And before that, I wanted to kind of go over my real estate journey because I think it's good to just that we all get some background. So I started investing in real estate back in 2007. I mean, that was over a decade ago. At the time, the banks would have given anyone or anything with a pulse a mortgage at the time. So I was able to dive right in. It was a mix of opportunity and preparedness and a bit of luck at the same time. That first home that I purchased, which I actually still own till today, was the beginning of my real estate journey and just so much learning because I literally dove right in. I purchased the home. The home is in Georgia. Took a flight out of New York and I landed there. It was a crazy, crazy Memorial Day weekend in 2007. Saw the home in July in May, closed in July, and literally came back to New York. I eventually turned that property into a rental. Went ahead to purchase my second property in New York in 2008. Then between 2009 to 2014, I finished undergrad, grad school, and but I did not purchase anymore, which has to be one of my biggest regrets because properties were dirt cheap at the time. If you're listening to me right now, always remember one thing: the future will always cost more. The future will always cost you more. Properties were dirt cheap. Matter of fact, from my analysis, properties were cheap from 2000, from the recession right up until 2016. When we got a new president in 2017, the market changed. The prices went up, but not what they are currently. So 2017, 2018, 2019, prices went up. Then 2020, when the pandemic came, prices went up even more. And then now it's just absolute chaos. But back to 2019 to 2014, finished undergrad, finished grad school. 2014, got my 6 months break that everyone gets when they finish school, and then you know you start making payments to your student loan debt. 2015, I was paying my student loan debt. 2017, 2016, I was paying my student loan debt as well. And then 2017, I just said to myself, I mean, I had been thinking about it by 2016, obviously, because I was in this space where I didn't want to carry or have any more student loan debt. I just wanted to be free, rid of it, because it just felt like this drag, this thing I was just taking with me, and I wanted to be rid of it. So I paid it off in 2017, purchased real estate in 2018, purchased real estate in 2019, purchased real estate in 2020, completed my first rehab in 2021, purchased my own home as well in 2021, and now it's 2022, and I'm currently searching for my next deal. So, um, yeah, 2017, 2017, I paid off my student loans. 2018, purchased real estate. 2019, purchased real estate. 2020, purchased real estate. 2021, finished my first rehab. I purchased my own home as well. That rehab, I ended up not selling. I purchased it believing I was going to sell it when I was done, but I looked at the numbers. I was getting a good income from it, and I decided to keep it. And then I paid off that loan. If you do a rehab, you are gonna, I took a hard money loan. So I had to when I finished, and since I wasn't gonna sell it, I had to refinance out of the hard money loan into a regular conventional loan. And then I took monies out, and then I purchased my own home. And now it's 2022, and I'm currently searching for my next deal. So um, today I'm going to share how you can pay off, how you can invest in real estate while paying off student loan debt. But first, I would say the very first thing you want to do is understand what your GPS is. GPS is a phrase that I coined when I realized that I work very well with structure. Nobody ever starts building a home from a roof. You have to start with the foundation. You have to start with the pillars, the support, and then you can cover the roof. So your goal is literally the roof. Now your goal needs some support. Your foundation is going to be your purpose, and your strategy is going to be literally the frame, like all of the structure that you need. The number one reason why people don't achieve their goals is because they have no uh, sense of direction per se. Your goals need support. A goal that's not supported cannot be achieved. It's that simple. Whatever you want, everyone has goals. We make goals. We're in March, and literally 2 months ago was the new year. We all made goals. And I can guarantee that by right now, most of us are, those goals are long forgotten, but long forgotten because we just not, because our goals were not supported in the first place. So what's your goal? Your goal is your intention, basically a declaration of your intention. What do you want? What do you want to achieve? I'd like to buy a house. I'd like to become a real estate investor. Why do you want to become a real estate investor? Now that's very personal, and everyone has their own purpose to build financial freedom, to become financially independent, to own an asset that I can leverage and control, to start to use real estate investments, my real estate investment portfolio as my retirement funds, whatever it is, your purpose is very personal to you. Now, once you have a purpose, you have to come up with a strategy for how you're going to achieve your purpose. So your goal, basically where you want to be, and how are you going to achieve that goal is by coming up with strategies. And your strategy doesn't have to be anything, because sometimes when we think about strategy, we think we make it so complicated. No, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a checklist of things that you need to do. Okay, so you could start with one. Well, if I want to become a real estate investor, I need funds. So I need to start saving, say, $500 every month. If I want to become a real estate investor, I need to, you know, maybe find a real estate agent. That's a strategy. If I want to become a real estate investor, I need to find like-minded people. Just make a list of how you're going to accomplish those goals, because your strategy, your strategy, which is basically your how, moves you forward. So your goal is your what, your purpose is your why, your strategy is your how. So your GPS is your what, why, and how. And you need to be very clear and very specific. Once you have that figured out, you'll start moving with a bit more intention. Anything that comes your way that doesn't fit into your goal or doesn't fit into your purpose, you can easily walk away from. Once you have a GPS, it's much harder to be distracted by things that are not taking you closer towards your goals and your purpose and your strategy. Because one of the very first questions you're going to ask yourself is is what I'm doing right now taking me closer, or is it taking me further away from what I want to accomplish? And if the answer is yes or no, you immediately know which way to move. So this framework I found helped me, and if that's why I had to share my journey, so that you see that every year one real estate was purchased. Once I finished paying off my student loan, I began to go heavy, because that was around the time I realized, my goodness, I'm not, okay, now I'm done with school, I'm done with undergrad, I'm done with grad school. What's next? My only regret within that timeline was not purchasing more properties. If you see the timeline, there is a gap between 2009 to 2016. There's a gap in there, and I did not purchase because I had no real sense of direction. If I had some mentorship, if I had some kind of goal and a purpose and a strategy, it would have been much clearer that I needed to keep buying properties at the time. But it's okay. I'm making up for it now. And now that you're listening to this, you can actually start to implement. List out your goals, list out your purpose, list out your strategy, and start taking action. Your strategy actually should move you into action mode. How you can start investing in real estate while paying off debt. Well, first things first, once you come up with your GPS, then you need to assess your current situation. And by assessing your current situation, I mean, how much do you have? You basically want to know what you're working with. What leverage do you have? What levers can you pull? How much do you have to begin with? What is your credit score? How much debt are you carrying? Who do you know? These are questions that you have to answer. Do you have $10,000 to start with, or do you have $20,000 to start with? What is your credit score? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it fair? Because you want to raise your credit. You don't need to have perfect credit. You don't need to have 850. Trust me, once you get to like the mid 750s, you're pretty much good. As far as credit does not, unless your credit is really, 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 really bad, then you could get denied. But poor credit doesn't mean you'll get denied. It just means that you're considered a higher risk, so you'll have a higher rate. And if your goal is buying an investment property, honestly, having a higher rate shouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You still want to have decent credit, but if it's not so great, that shouldn't stop you either. How much debt are you carrying? This is where you have to calculate your debt to income ratio, because that number matters. And also depending on the strategy you use. So your debt to income ratio, which is popularly known as DTI, is where you add up all your debt, specifically debt that shows up on your credit report. So, your student loan debt's going to show up on your credit report. If you have a car note, it's going to show up. If you carry any other kind of debt, your credit card debt will show up. Any personal loans you have will show up. Practically just pull up your credit report. Any debt that shows up, you want to add up the minimum payments, not the total balance or just the monthly minimum payments, and now divide that by your income. That will determine your debt to income ratio. Now, you want to stay at under 36%.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.